How far would you go to protect your loved ones? To prove your worth to them? How far are you willing to push yourself in the name of retaining your humanity? What would it take to get you to sacrifice it willingly? Would you hurt others? Hurt yourself? Would you break the heart of the very person you swore to keep safe? Would you break the world? Would you kill God? This is the story of one man as he fights against the currents of his better nature to remain the protector he believes himself to be. This is the story of a mortal as he is pushed to the edge of his morality, as he is pushed to seek punishment against the gods for their crimes against their creation, against him. This is Godkiller Retribution. It's a new day. You and your 99 other competitors stand in a grand hall. Lit by orange torches, you see lavish paintings, beautiful stonework, velvet drapery. In front of you stands all the heads of the vampiric houses. Emperor Verlaine, and notably, Etuvar is not present. You stand at the front, the tip of a cone, waiting to be chosen by a house. We see Emperor Verlaine give a sort of placid greeting and words, their mouth moving but no sound registering in your ears. Light applause echoing into this hall from both the noble houses and your competitors alike. We then see Lord Aranthe step forward. We watch his lips call your name. He outstretches an arm to guide you over to his house. You stand next to them. You stand next to Tlali. She doesn't look at you. A professionalism on her face as she just stares forward and bows. And then she goes back to looking out over the rest of those who competed in the calling. And that lingers with you. There's an electricity between the two of you. You are standing right next to her. But there is a sense of responsibility, of duty, that is emanating off of her. And you're immediately transported back to the last time you ever saw her. It had been a rough night, a rough week, a rough year. This sickness, this mystery illness that started with nothing more than a small nick to their left arm and seemed to claw at Tlali's flesh and render them weak. Tainted boils and necrotizing infection consuming them more and more, one day at a time. Sometimes there would be short bursts where normalcy could resume in your house, where Tlali could walk and move and cook and create again, even if it was just for a little while before they had to lay back down, before they would be bedridden for longer than they were allowed respite. You don't know how you or Tlali would have made it so long if not for Essie. Your old neighbor tending to Tlali when you'd inevitably have to go hunting or trade in the market. You hated going to the market. Not just because of the simple fact that you had to leave them behind, but because of the well-meaning questions and the looks that you'd get. How is she? Any better this week? Would you like me to bring over some soup? How are you faring? But last night was particularly bad. Non-stop coughing mixed with tired muscles racked Tlali's form, her marred flesh pulling at itself with every motion. Nothing was making it better. Nothing was helping. You couldn't help. You woke up on the couch after a fitful night's sleep, if you've gotten any so far. You recall what she whispered to you before asking to be left to go to bed. Do not be afraid to let me go. Those words scream at you in your mind. The air in the room becomes too thick and your vision begins to blur with the oncoming of tears. You look back to the closed door of your shared bedroom. It's quiet. You don't know what you'll find if you open that door, and that thought terrifies you more than anything in the world. It becomes too much. You burst through the front door. You look up to the sky and you pray for a god, any god, to come to your aid. You've done all you can in your mortal power to help her, to save her. The only thing that could be her salvation now is the power of the divine.
I don't know how this is supposed to work. I don't not believe in any of you. I don't know if I can appeal to all of you or any of you at once, or if you require specifics, or if the lack thereof will make it not matter anyway, because this is disrespect. I just don't know, and I'm sorry, but this is not about me. I plead for a soul worth 1,000 thousands of mine. One who knows you, who is worthy of you, far more than I. So please, not for my voice do I ask for an answer. She is not ready to go. And there is much good that she can still do in this world. Please do not let the perfect thing die. Not yet.
And as you pray for guidance, you receive a vision or an omen. As I know which God answers this prayer. What is it that you see in this moment before they come?
I think I look up and my eyes catch a mirror, but in the glass I see my flesh that has already started graying and hollowing out in the years I've had this shard. But I see in my eyes another reflection created behind me, like an infinite tunnel of mirrors, a psychomantium of me, and I see infinitely ahead and behind myself. And I see myself grow grayer, colder, more distant. I feel like I watch myself become someone else. I lose light and joy and I watch her get farther and farther and farther away from me. It's not what I'm looking for, but I think in this moment I understand. I think I understand what this is supposed to mean.
And in your mind's eye of this mirror, you're standing and you're looking at yourself. And then another mirror appears behind you, and there is someone standing behind you. And when you whip around, they are in front of you, in real space. They are a rotted, fetid, disgusting thing. Green skin covered in boils and lichen and fungus. A sheen of wetness always present on their skin. Pure black eyes and constantly greasy, wet, dripping hair. Two large, proud antlers sprouting from their head, also hanging with moss and lichen. A tail swishing back and forth languidly. This person is dressed in nothing but soiled bandages. And how do you know she's not ready to go? I would like for you to roll to recognize a god. When you want to recognize the signs or influence of a god, roll 2d6. Add 1 for each true statement. You're in or near their domain. No. You're familiar with their gospel.
Not particularly.
No. As a non-religious man, no. It would be bad if you didn't know. Yes, it would be. So roll 2d6 and add 1.
That is a 4 total.
On a miss 6 or less, the GM will tell you the most common legends about them and nothing more. Based on the visage alone, the smell coming off of them, the smell that mirrors Tlali's worst injuries of rot and decay. You're pretty confident you know what god this is. It's all over their body. This is Vosh, the balance, god of rot. This is who has answered you. What would you like to do?
It doesn't occur to me to fall to my knees. And I know I should be afraid, but I can't be more afraid of a person, a thing, a monster, even a god who looks like any or all of those things. I can't be more afraid of any of that than I am of what's already happening. And I feel that so strongly in this moment, and I focus on it, and I let it put power into my voice that otherwise wouldn't be there. And I just say, You are meant to be balanced.
Why, yes. All things must die, and all things must return to the earth.
But what is happening to her, it is not natural. It couldn't be. It is so... It couldn't be.
Well, all things must eat, even me.
Is that what you have come to do?
My dear boy. That's what I've been doing.
I don't understand. Why?
Why don't you ask my cousin Etuvar? He took so much from me, making his little children. Nothing dies anymore. Therefore, I don't get to eat. And so, when your dear love cut herself and an infection spread, well, who would I be to deny myself an easy food source?
I would ask Etuvar if he would have shown his face, but he did not. You did. You are here now. And so I have no choice but to entreat with you. And if you have come, then clearly you must care somewhat. There must be some greater reason. I cannot believe that a higher being, such as yourself, would be so bound to the cycles of the mortal realm. Your kind created us to create perfection in our own way, for nature to create perfection in its own way. The sound of laughter, the smell of a wave, salt on the air, the grass shining under a soft breeze in the morning light. All of these things are part of a cycle, and you are outside of that cycle, watching. What could you possibly have to gain from feeding off of that which you have created? Why not let life bloom? I don't understand.
I don't come here to make you understand. I come here to put you out of your misery. That is to say, there will be misery. She belongs to me now. And you would do well to not fight it anymore. You name all these beautiful aspects of life because you don't want to face the fact that nature is ugly in turn. There is death, there is brutality, there is sacrifice, and this is one you must now make.
You misjudge me, Great One. You do not see everything. You do not see me, day after day, crouching in the brush, listening to the wind. You do not feel my heart pound as I catch a scent of my quarry on the wind, and it is not bloodlust that makes me spring forth blade first. It is the desire to provide. I will not pretend I do not enjoy it, but it is because it is not for nothing. And when I spray red upon the stone, and I see the light leave this creature's eyes, there is beauty in that sadness. Because I know what follows honors what it was, what its purpose was. As I take it apart, there is beauty in my knowing all that made it, and all that will make it nourish the people who I love and protect. I know the beauty of death. There is a difference. If you do not see this, then I cannot believe that you are balanced. I cannot believe in any of you.
Good. Go say it to someone who cares. This is a kindness, telling you there's nothing you can do. Take it as such. And you watch as they sort of melt into the earth, creating a dark cesspool that then fades without another word.
Tears in my eyes, I look back at the mirror and I see the lingering after image of 1,000 selves, and I grip my spear and I throw it. 1,000 times I pierce my own heart. 1,000 times I watch it break. I watch myself break into 1,000,000 pieces. I go back to her room where I can be useful.
And you open the bedroom door, and she's lying there, peacefully, as if nothing happened, breathing pretty softly and regularly. And you notice that she sort of naturally shifted in her sleep to be on one side of the bed more than the other. And you gingerly creep into the bed and lay your head down next to her and fall asleep once more. And when you wake, she's not in the bed. You hear rustling out in the front room. And you get up and you go out and you see that she has a large pack that she is shoving stuff into and rearranging it with a firm hand, if not a little hurried. And you see that there is a second pack next to hers, empty, but waiting. Vos, And she stops what she's doing and just stares at you, hands at her side.
I get close and I take her hands in mine and I try so hard to hold her gaze. And now I shake, now I'm afraid. You have to go. You have to live. Nothing is more important than that. But I cannot leave you with anything less than the truth. Where you go, I cannot follow. I can't. I'm so sorry, but I can't do it.
Why? Why?
I have seen the visage of the gods, my love. They are not what we think. They do not have our best interests at heart. What you are to become, I simply don't know. I don't know what you will be and what I would be if I followed.
But we would be together. Isn't that all that we would need? I would be not like this, and it would be the two of us still. Please.
You will be kind and beautiful and right and perfect in any form that you could take. But that is not so for me. If I do not follow down your path, but follow you, in body alone, then you will watch me wither and die and live on. And if I become what you are to become, I will not be the same man that you love, nor the same man who loves you. Everything I do, everything I have devoted my life to is rooted in mortality, in the cycles of life and death, and if I lose that, I am nothing in this world. I have nothing to offer the people that I love, this town, this world, and I do not fear leaving them. I believe that in time they will learn to protect themselves. I think they already have. In many ways, I am so proud. But I would sooner lose you as you are than have you lose me. I would love you from afar with a heart that still beats.
And you see an anger rise up in her as she looks down to her finished pack and looks to the one that she was going to begin preparing for you. And she grabs it. She throws it in your face. And there's just a look of pure betrayal, of shock and acceptance all in one. She was hoping that by the time this time actually came, that you would come around, see things her way, that she didn't have to accept this reality. And she leaves you to save herself. Without another word. And the door slams as you watch after her. The light of your shining star leaving your house. And as the door closes, we are brought back to the present moment of you standing in a grand hallway. The floor lined with velvet, dark wood, and you're standing in front of a very ornate door. Carvings in the wood, filigree of silver. This is Tlali's room. What do you do?
She's nowhere in sight, correct?
You were summoned to this room by them. After the selection ceremony, you were shown to what would be your quarters, and then given a day to sort of rest and make yourself familiar with your house in whatever way that would mean to you. But almost immediately, before you were able to do any exploring of your own or ask any questions of your own, you were sent a missive and summoned to her room. It is now what you would figure to be around 8 p.m.?
I just look around the room at all of these lavish things that I have never experienced. And I try to imagine loving these things, one at a time. I think propriety goes away in this moment. No one's watching anyway, at least that I can tell, so I just start touching soft things. I run my hand across the sheets and the curtains. If there are any cups or glasses around, I lift them up and test their weight. I lift them up to my mouth but don't actually touch them to my lips. I just imagine drinking from these cups, and I try to put myself in a place that I am imminently in. It is not so bad.
And as you say that to yourself, you hear the soft ka-chunk of the levered door handle open the door with a soft creak.
I remember myself immediately, and I hastily put down the cup that's in my hand, and I put it, I can't do it fast enough to put it back where it was, so I just put it on the counter, and then I turn and I stand in front of it. And I take my hat off. I think probably for the first time other than sleeping since I've been here in the city, and I hold it to my chest.
And you see someone who is not who you were expecting. You see a pale gray face lean out from the crack in the door. They have wavy black hair that goes down to their jaw, a feminine face, light blue eyes that reflect the orange of the torchlight above them. They have bright, shining silver ear caps, a decoration of sorts. They have a kind face. There is a sort of oversized scarf that they wear over a deep maroon, simple shirt that you can see is buttoned, but stops at their sternum and sort of splays out. Décolletage would be fully bare if not for this oversized scarf that is red and gold applique. And they look at you, and they look back, and they look back to you, and they say, "Oh, Mistress, Mr. Vos is here. Mr. Vos, please come in."
Yeah, should I? I don't fully understand this person's station, so I awkwardly combine the greeting I know with the greeting I think is appropriate for this moment. So I smile widely and bow at the same time. But while I bow, my chin is still pointed up, so I'm at sort of a 90-degree angle with my face facing this person. And before I come up, I go, "Is it appropriate for me to put my hat back on, or should I leave it in here? Or perhaps just hold on to it?"
And this person considers for a moment. No, it should be fine to put it back on. Just come in, please.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll make sure that you can see my eyes. And I put it back on, but not like as low and shadowed as it would normally be. And I'll go.
And you enter this room, and it is just as grand and lavish as the hallway you were just in. Red and black velvets, a 4-post bed with beautiful, ornate silken sheets. There is a vanity on the other side, as well as what looks to be a small workshop table right next to the vanity. There are beautiful velvet chairs and a chaise lounge. This room is by itself as big as your home in Yali. And in one of the chairs sits a head of shining silver. 3/4 view facing away from you towards a large window with beautiful draped curtains that looks out over into a courtyard. You see the person who had ushered you inside scurry back over to their mistress. Mr. Vos, this is, as you're probably aware, Lady Seraphine Aranthe of House Aranthe. Your new charge, as it were, to protect. Mistress, is there anything that you need from me? And you see that Seraphine stands and places the back of their hand on this person's face and looks at them fondly and says, "No, Eva, I think that will be all for tonight. Thank you." You see Eva bow deeply and then sort of go for a very familiar hug or gesture, intimate gesture that you're not exactly sure what it is or what it communicates. And you see, with a grace that you were so accustomed to, Seraphine sort of ducks out of it imperceptibly, almost imperceptibly, And Eva catches it and gives them a look, and then looks between you and Seraphine. And something clicks in their mind, and their face, for a split second, becomes a little downfallen. And then they go back to their dutiful sort of demeanor. And they shrug it off. And they say, "Of course, Mistress, Mr. Vos. It was nice to meet you. I'm sorry I did not introduce myself. I am Eva. Sanguis to Lady Seraphine. I will leave you two alone now. We will have more times to talk later."
Oh, thank you. I was pleased to meet you as well. To be fair, do not feel bad. I did not introduce myself either. Just because you already knew my name does not mean that politeness should be suspended in such a way. So truly, if anyone is at fault, it is me, and I'm keeping you. Forgive me.
And Eva begins to rush past you out of the room, and they stumble a little bit, and that causes their scarf to shift a little, and you're able to catch that as the scarf falls down with the stumble, you see 2 pinpricks on their neck. But they scurry past you and they close the door. And Seraphine flicks a finger over towards the door, and you hear it lock behind them. So, you're here. And they turn to face you and look at you fully for the first time since the Colosseum.
I take the hat off again, but instead of holding it to my chest, I hold it behind my back with both hands, hiding that out of her sight they aren't entirely sure what to do. I had thought of many possibilities for what the first thing I should say to you would be, and now none of them seem good enough. I had hoped that something genuine would come to me in the moment, and all I can really think of is something I am sure you already know, which is that I was wrong.
Wrong? What do you mean wrong?
I mean that there are precious few things in this life that are absolute in such a way. A right thing and a wrong thing. And when you find them, when you become certain of them, you must embrace it with your entire heart. And I know with mine that I was wrong not to come with you. I'm not sure if it would be an insult to you to apologize. Now, I should also make it clear that in coming here, my intention is not... I don't expect anything from you, not even what your attitude towards me might be. This contest, this role, I took it as seriously as I could. The purpose is yours, and so I must believe in it. But I just wanted to see you and tell you that I was wrong. Everything that I thought, the reasons I gave you, I believed at the time. I do not deny it. Do you remember? Do you remember what I feared for myself in coming here?
You told me you feared you would not be yourself. You would become someone else, and that was unacceptable to you. And yet, I've become someone else. Is that also unacceptable to you?
I have never lied to you. What I told you that day remains true. You are perfect in any form you take. I was never worried about you. I simply thought that a death dealer did not deserve to cheat death. I thought that I would become something unrecognizable to you. I thought I would lose my ability to love you. I feared that if I lost my mortality, I would lose my soul and grow distant from everything I believe in. Lo and behold, it went and happened anyway. I've changed so much. It has been so long since I've felt connected to anything. Or anyone. Until I decided to come here. I don't want to cry over lost time anymore. Whatever you want of me, if you see fit, I would have infinite time to give it to you. And if you would send me from your sight, then, well, at least you know that I'm sorry. My purpose is fulfilled.
And with an unnatural speed, they cross the distance to you. Hands still by their side, but looking up at you, almost nose to nose. Send you from my sight. Those. Don't you know that those who need corpore choose who their corpores to be? I handpicked you. Do you know what angered me so much? Is that it felt like it was all about your worry for me. But what about my worry for you? What about my feelings for you? You didn't think that I had the same fears that you did? At the time, all I knew about becoming a vampire is that I would become a vampire. Didn't know what that would mean for me. And yet I still believed, whether you came with me and chose to or chose not to, that we would endure because I had no choice. I had no other choice than to believe that. And you say you came here because you realized you were wrong. Is that the only reason?
No. No, it is not the only reason. There are simple things. The look on the people's faces back home when I pass in the streets, if they see me at all. This emptiness. These things that have haunted me until I haunted my own home. There is nothing there for me anymore. Those are all simple things, but the simplest of all is that forgive me, I do not wish to be improper now. It is hard not to just speak to you like you. I'm not sure how to proceed with titles and propriety between us, or if that's even what you want, but all I can do is speak to you honestly. For now, until I learn. It's very simple. I had you. I lost you. I thought perhaps I could have you again, if you would only have me. I thought that if I didn't try, I could not stomach any more of this empty life filled with regret. But understand, in winning this contest, I would never believe that I was winning your affection or your approval. I am glad to hear you explain the element of choice. I would never, ever in 1,000 years want you to think that I believed I could simply walk in here and win you like some trophy, or be one for you to have. I just wanted the chance to. I just had to try.
And there is a wave of the relief that comes from confirming an anxiety, and a smile creeps across her face, and she takes her hand, both of them, and cups yours. And she is neither hot nor cold, completely a neutral temperature. And what if I wanted to be one? What if I wanted you to try? What if for the past 7 years, the smell of you haunted my steps? I saw you in my dreams. And I prayed for something like this to happen. Because for me, it's very simple. I left because I had to, because I was not ready to die. I did not leave because I stopped loving you. I did not stop loving you.
My love, that is the best and worst part. It would have been so much easier if you had, or if I had, but here we are. I won't say that your prayers have been answered. I don't know if I believe that. But whatever the mechanism, I am glad to have done something right.
Something right. And they step back from you. And they take you in. And that mirth, that familiar mirth, returns to them. They place their hands, arms crossed on either side of their biceps, fully checking you out, slowly, purposefully lewd. And so, Vos of Yali, do you understand the duties laid before you as my chosen corpore bodyguard, to serve me and protect me for as long as you are able and I walk this earth?
I note the way that she's looking at me. And there is an uncontrollable warmth everywhere. I know that no power in this universe, death or undeath, can eliminate that amount of warmth. And I step as close to her as she will let me. And I let my eyes trace over her as hers did mine. And I say, come to think of it, no, I don't understand. And then I slowly, purposefully drop to my knees. I look up at them. I tilt my chin up and meet her eyes again, while my chin brushes the fabric of the front of her skirt. Why don't you teach me?
And you watch their eyes go from a sparkling ruby red to a deep burgundy. And they flick their hand over their shoulder, and the curtains unhook themselves and close. Only a single lantern light now lights the room. And they chuckle. So eager. I like that. And with a strength that you have never felt, they take 2 fingers and lift up your chin and pull you up back to standing, and then with those 2 fingers poke you in the chest, and you stumble back onto the bed. And like a hungry animal, they dive on top of you. And she leans in to your ear. She actually moves your poncho to the side and drags her 2 fangs up. And she whispers, "You know, I am still quite cross with you. It's a good thing we have all the time in the world for you to make it up to me."
Wait, feel this. And I take them by the wrist. I put her hand against my chest and let her feel how excited I am. Not the heartbeat, no, I don't care about that. No, the excitement. I am not afraid anymore. I am ready for forever. And as my fingers brush up the back of their neck, begin to comb up into her hair. In my heart, I linger on that unexpected thrill. A thrill of knowing that when I wake up the next morning, it will be the first of eternal days.
And when you wake, Seraphine is at the other end of the room, seated in front of that ornate vanity with trifold mirrors. She's now wearing a pale gray sheer nightdress that leaves the large, broad scars that travel from her left jaw down to her left hip and abdomen, visible to the morning air. You hear the scratching of a pencil on paper as she's engrossed in what you can see is a book on one side of her and a different notepad on the other. It appears she's transcribing notes of some kind. The focus on her face, the dedication is so familiar and so welcome. This is a person who has become a professional in her field. She looks perfect. But something feels wrong. It's a sick feeling, the pit that forms in your stomach. The familiar smell of fetid air of dead flesh assaults your nostrils. It almost makes you sick, but not because of the scent, but because of the memory. Your heartbeat, if you now still had one, would be quick. It would be pounding in your ears and in your throat. Nonetheless, your airway feels like it's tightening in on itself. When you look at Seraphine, all you see is rot. It hangs over them like a shroud. Writhing, ghostly fingers crawl over the décolletage of her nightdress and up her neck. They travel obscenely up into their hair and card through it as if making a show for you. They don't seem to react or notice any of this, but as a hand tries to grab on a little tighter at the back of their head, you watch as they firmly flip their hair over their shoulder, as if swatting away at something with the back of their hand. And then they roll that shoulder before returning to their work. They look up and into the mirror, spotting that you're now awake, and their eyes soften. Through the mirror's reflection, they smile as they take you in once more. Good morning, darling. I hope my annotations didn't wake you. And then you're in a void, much like the one Etuvar took you to when you entered that stranger's apartment. But this one is not quite as dark, and there's a pink hue that underlines all the shadows that you see. A single golden light fades in from the darkness off to your right. You turn to look at it, and you see that it's actually a lantern. Gold filigree and oblong in shape, sturdy to be sure, but beautifully delicate at the same time. It's one of those ones that hangs off of a staff or a walking stick to be carried around by the lantern bearer. Once your eyes adjust to this newfound light in this space, you see that this lantern staff is indeed being held by an individual. You see pink skin and pointed ears, and small horns that sprout outwards from their head and away. gold markings that travel from their forehead down the sides of their arms. Red and gold embroidered in what appears to be one long piece of fabric strategically draped to cover their form. Gold jewelry that jingles like wind chimes as they move towards you. A kind but worried face, pure golden eyes look upon you now. And once again, I would like you to roll to recognize a god. So, again, when you want to recognize the signs or influence of a god, roll 2d6. Add 1 for each true statement. You're in or near their domain. Currently, yes. You're familiar with their gospel. That depends on how deep you would go into researching all the gods in your travel to Etuvaras, or did you just research Etuvar?
It was just the one I knew I was interacting with.
All right, so I'm going to say that's no.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be bad if you didn't know. No, it wouldn't be bad. So that's 2d6 plus 1 once again.
4 plus 3 plus 1 equals 8.
On a hit, 7 to 9, the GM will give you a clear interpretation of the omens. Ask your GM a single follow-up question of your choosing, and they must answer honestly. So, as this person, feminine in shape, moves towards you, they pull a long braid of orange hair in front of them and sort of start fiddling with the end of it. You look at the lantern. You look at the horns. You recognize this as Halari, the confidant, god of intimacy. For what reason that they are here now seemingly pulled you into a space out of spaces like Etuvar, you do not know. But you do know that people only pray to them when they need guidance in their relationships, or they feel lost within themselves, in their relationship with themselves. You know that he has a deep love for mortal kind, but most often takes the form of a woman, or what appears to be a feminine shape, a feminine form, but answers to all pronouns and all well-intentioned callings after.
And you said I get a follow-up question.
Yes, and I have to answer it honestly.
This is now my third divine interaction.
Mm-hmm.
2 out of 3 have now been against my will. Maybe 3 out of 3. Though the first one I was asking for someone, but dubious, very dubious. And the first was really bad. The second, I was distrusting and it was weird, but it turned out pretty good. And now here, for whatever reason, I seem to understand way more about this person. And I feel like the reason for that is because of what they are. And by all means, tell me if this is not the case, but it doesn't feel like these are book smart things. It feels like the idea of intimacy, because this is what my entire life has really been about, in a way that I understand. it feels like my understanding of what this God is about comes intuitively, almost magically across a tether to the core of my purpose. Just in seeing this person, I'm like, oh, I get this, and now I know this. That's what it feels like. And so my question would be, having this knowledge suddenly appearing in my mind, this idea of, okay, they love mortals. Does that mean that I should find them trustworthy based on my own outlook on life? Which is like not being selfish or petty, actually utilizing the power of a god, the notion of being a god and what only a god can do to actually meaningfully benefit mortals in a way that isn't just about them. Does that make sense?
You're basically asking if their intentions are genuine right now.
Yes, but more specifically, if they align with my own. If I have reason to think, would I think that this God is actually doing good in the world?
Okay, I understand. You have this question in your mind, and you look once again over to the lantern that is now the only light source in this space. And like you said, this is not necessarily a book smarts sort of connection. And you recall the mythos behind this lantern. Halari was the first to have a relationship with a mortal that bore a child. A godling. And when her husband found out about this, Sirian, the spark, the god of the hearth and of fire, he killed that child. And in order to save any semblance of that love, Halari took their child's soul and placed it in the lantern so that they could still be together. An act of defiance of his husband. You feel that Halari is a being whose love could never be false. And from the book Smart's perspective, what you know historically is that Halari is regarded as one of the lovers of mortality, one of the gods that is trustworthy and people want to call upon them. And when they do, they know that Halari will answer. And when they answer, they will never be... They won't sugarcoat, but they won't be too harsh. They won't coddle, but they won't overreach. She says exactly what she means while simultaneously balancing that with what she thinks the person calling upon her needs to hear to actually affect better change into their life. And so you get the sense that if Halari has essentially summoned you, There must be something very important that she needs to say to you.
I instinctively reach up to take my hat off and, of course, find that it is not there, and all at once, in a blinding flush moment, realize that I'm basically naked, considering when I was summoned, get as pink as a gray man can, and then smile very genuinely. Well, it is disturbing that I am growing accustomed to such summons. But I must say, unlike others who I have spoken to, you inspire trust, and I trust myself and my own feelings, which in itself is a great feeling, so, thank you for that.
Well, intimacy is based on comfort. So, in a way, I am happy that you trust me, because trust is, of course, as we all know, also based in comfort, and I apologize. Would you like clothes?
I was going to ask if it was in your power, now that we are such good friends and all, to summon perhaps my pants.
Oh, it's no problem. Though, it's nothing I haven't seen before. And you watch as they sort of swirl their hand in your direction, giving you a wink, and a sort of robe-like piece of fabric drapes across your shoulders that you're able to tie at the waist, so you're not naked anymore for this conversation. I am Hilari. You are Vos. It is nice to finally meet you.
My raiments are very much a part of who I am, and with them on, I am instantly more myself. So, I catch up to the information that has spontaneously generated in my mind about this person, and I am treating them like a person. That's the most respectful thing that I instinctively know to do. So I think a little late, I realize now the idea of, if they're here, something is wrong. And my expression falls, and I say, it is nice to meet you as well. However, I'm confused and concerned. It seems as though within the domain that you represent, I am happy. Things are right for the first time in longer than I care to admit. I cannot imagine what would be. And then I remember the last thing I saw before being brought here. The rotted image, suddenly. And I sort of catch up to that too. You know, what was that? Just fully assuming that they're a god, they can read my mind or something. They will just know what I'm talking about.
And you watch as their face darken, grip the staff of the lantern a little bit tighter. What was what, dear? I came here to warn you. Forgive me for pulling you in here without, your permission, but once I'd found you, I knew I had to tell you. Etuvar, he said that he had told you if you used what was around your neck, we might see, we might notice, and that's exactly what happened.
I don't care about that. I don't care about any of that. Are they okay? Their face, something was wrong. I thought maybe it was just a dream or something, but... No, I remember. I was awake. What's wrong with them? Tell me it was a dream.
And Hilari moves up to you and hovers their hand against your cheeks, but not actually touching you. May I? And they place it against your cheek, and they close their eyes. And they go on a bit of a journey in their expressions, furrowing their brow and opening their eyes with a jolt. That was Vosh. Vosh. Vosh wants your Seraphine. Hold on. And you see a pulse move out. It travels like a chill down your spine, down to your feet, to the ground, and out. For this conversation, at least, I am able to cloak them, as I have cloaked you. But I must return you as soon as possible. But not before I tell you what I must tell you. What you did in that second trial. All of us gods, we saw. We noticed. And there are some that would want to kill you for what is around your neck. Some that would want to hurt her to get to you. I understand your purpose in coming here was to get to her again, to see her again, be with her again. And you may think now your journey is over, but as long as you have that, you're both in danger. Baku will come for you. Chara will come for you. And as much as I'd like to, I can't protect you. And I'm sorry. I wish I could make it simpler.
Do not be sorry, my friend. If there is one thing I have come to know, it is that the gods are not so unlike us. Mortals, well, I suppose that does not describe me anymore. Those who are not gods, or beasts, or monsters. You love, you hate, you squabble. You form relationships and you get involved in things only that you want to. But I have seen nothing that has indicated to me that your insurmountable forces. You act like people, so I treat you like people. And I will continue to do so until I see otherwise. In your case, it means you have my respect. But forgive me for doing a swear, but I mean no disrespect. If that miserable fucking carcass comes anywhere near me, I will treat him like a man and show him his mortality. Or, if it makes it all simpler, by all means take this thing away. I do not need it anymore.
I would if I could, but you must understand. I have things I want to live for too. And I hope you'll forgive me this cowardice, but I don't want to paint a target on my back.
No, of course not. I'm sorry. You're right. I have contradicted myself. If we are truly, to some degree, equals, well, I can fight my own battles. In fact, I would prefer to. But I just don't understand. I don't mean to be insensitive, but I don't care whose soul is in this thing. It's just a silly little rock that makes me invisible and lonely and sad. For it to cause so much pain and suffering and violence. It is beyond me.
That is why we've called it the burden. Osaki's burden. I won't take it from you now, but may I see something?
Oh, I suppose that remains to be seen. I hold it out.
And you place it in the palm of their hand. And once again they close their eyes, and a pulse rings out from their hand through this endless space. And you watch as, eyes still closed, they begin to cry. And still attached to the chain around your neck, they drop it as if it's burning hot. And they look at you, and there's so much heartbreak on their face. How long did you have this?
Too long. Years.
And you see things sometimes, whether in your waking mind or in your dreams?
Yes, visions, I suppose. Omens, perhaps. I have misinterpreted them in the past, and so of late have stopped trying to altogether.
It allows you to move unseen. I'm sorry, but when I touch this, the light that I see in it, I see in you. It permeates all of you. I'm not sure, but I don't think the power is contained to the shard anymore. Which means that this is not all that Baku will be hunting. Osaki cursed her. She won't be able to harness his power until she destroys the last semblance of it, and part of it is moved to you. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do.
I think only now, finally, do we see Vos's hand shake. My face goes from gray to white. And I look down and begin to laugh. And I clench my fist as though my spear were in it. It's still shaking, but I look right into their eyes. Well, not long ago I would have been sad to hear this. But no power of this world or any other is capable of making me feel lonely ever again. I have her, and I will fight anyone who will try to get in my way. I don't care how many of them there are. You don't hunt a hunter. Let them try.
And you see in their face a panic, a investment in your happiness that is true and genuine, and the object that is now barring that from being easy and good and sweet and peaceful is staring them right in the face, and there's nothing they can do about it in their mind. Because they don't want to die. There is a fear of Baku, goddess of knowledge. There is a context that you don't have. And it's as if they're carrying all the immature feelings of feeling like this is unfair, wanting to throw something in anguish for you. And they step up to you, closer now, resting their lantern staff against their shoulder as they take their other hand and cup your face. I'm sorry. I believe in you, in your resolve. It will not be easy, and there may be more than one way to fix this. But the best I can do right now is this warning to know what's coming. And perhaps I can give you something as you navigate this. My newfound cousin. And she gets up on her tiptoes and tilts her head, and she is going to kiss you, but you get to decide where on your face.
Forehead.
And she makes herself as tall as she can be in this form and places a gentle kiss on your forehead. And your eyes flutter close as she does so. And when they open, it is like there is light in the world. No longer is this space solely illuminated by a single lantern. It is like a large, bright light source fills everything in your vision, and you can perfectly see her in this light space. Perfect color. You can see the full detail. When you look around, there is swirling pink that you can perfectly see. It's as if you're standing in a room with multiple torches, but there is no one source of light. And you realize in this moment that you now see how the gods see, how the gods have always been able to see. They can see everything clearly, while mortality has to find that vision in day-to-day life. Hands still cupped on your cheek. She lowers herself down and looks between your eyes. I will do my best to answer when you call. If you call. But for now, I think that's the best I can do.
It is enough. Thank you for your fear and for mine. It is a fire whose warmth I had forgotten and have longed to feel again. It makes me stronger, gives me something to overcome. This is a gift that only a friend can truly give. So, for what it's worth, though my faith is new and growing, it is yours to warm yourself upon, my new friend.
And a warmth you feel. And it becomes a heat. And then it becomes an inferno. As you watch Hilari's eyes go wide with terror. What do we have here? And in an instant, Hilari jumps back from you, warm hands leaving your face. And you look over at the source of this voice, and you see red skin, a mop of curled blonde hair, with tufts of blonde fur poking out on where mutton chops would sit. A feline face with eyes that burn. A feline big cat type tail swishing angrily. The figure before you is about as tall as you, wearing a simple pink shirt and black pants. You don't even need to roll to recognize this god. You know that this is Syrian, Hilari's husband, god of fire. And he is furious at what he sees. There is an energy draw. You feel it. Something that Hilari had been maintaining is let go as her concentration is broken. She looks between you and Syrian, placing an outstretched arm in front of you to protect you. Syrian, please, it's not what you think. Fire erupts. Syrian does not move. It almost explodes out of Hilari's arm, and she crumbles into herself. A pained scream. Do not tell me what I see. Again you do this to me? No, I was just trying to warn him. Shut up. You. And he turns his face to look at you. You think you get a little bit of our power and you can do whatever you want with whoever you want. Well, let your big brother teach you a lesson. And you see a streak of fire emanate from the ground and shoot right towards you. What do?
I attempt to dodge out of the way with something akin to a butterfly kick. Try to leap off to the side, my feet swirling out in front of me. And when I land on my feet, I think I'm testing something. If I can see how the gods can see in this place where reality seems to be whatever the gods who brought me here want it to be, then maybe I can see the reality that I want. And so I reach out and try to pull from thin air my spear.
And you pull with every intention in your body, and you feel a warmth where the shard sits on your chest. Move into you and through you. For a split second, you blink your eyes. There's nothing in your hand. You blink again. And the cool metal that you are so familiar with fills that space as you have your spear with you.
I twirl it in front of me and end in a pose with it pointed at Syrian. And I say, "No, I don't think anything. I'm simply testing hypotheses, and, well, I haven't been wrong so far. So, by all means, help me test another."
Why, you little... And once again, Hilari throws himself in front of you. No, Syrian, please! Please, don't hurt him! But it's too late. Syrian is running towards the both of you. And I'm going to give you one shot to do something before Hilari does something in return.
Again, I treat these people like people until I'm proven otherwise, and it seems to me that the most logical thing to do would be to push Hilari out of the way, because I'm the fighter in the room.
Now, through no fault of your own, you have pissed off one of the most violent and hot-tempered gods. This is absolutely challenging someone dangerous. When you challenge someone dangerous in front of an audience, Say what foolish or risky action you hope they'll take and roll 2d6. Add 1 for each true statement. They care about your opinion. Absolutely not. He does not care about you at all. This is a conflict of pride and ego and control for Syrian. They think they're stronger than you. Absolutely. The crowd is on your side. The crowd, being Halari, is on your side in the sense that she does not want you to die here. She cares about your well-being. So, that's 2d6 plus 2.
The foolish and risky action that I hope he takes is, I hope that he doesn't expect me to try and protect Halari instead of myself. And so I'm hoping that this move throws him off guard and forces him to leave me an opening of some kind. So that's what I'm going for.
All right.
That's going to be a 12.
With the plus 2?
Yes, it's 6 plus 4 plus 2.
Okay. On an overkill 10 plus, you push too far. Your target reacts instantly and dangerously. Now, you were hoping that he wouldn't expect you to protect Halari instead of yourself. But with that overkill, unfortunately, that is exactly what he expected because he perceives Halari as weak. And so, do you move yourself in front of them, is my question.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
As he's running, you see he reaches back, making a fist as if he's about to punch you. But instead of punching at you, he punches around you, and from his fist, a single beam of pure blue fire strikes Halari instead. And you hear the loudest scream of pain you have ever heard in your life. And then that pain hits you. As the fire is non-linear, it strikes through Halari's shoulder, curves around, back over, past their ear, and strikes you in the shoulder as well. I'm going to have you take 2 strain, as this is a hit from a god. In one fell move, he has hurt both of you, but he is so angry that he is vulnerably close to you. Now, I said that Halari was immediately going to do an action, but with the pain comes an immediately blurring of clarity, so you do have time for one more action at least.
In a fraction of a frantic moment, I am considering, however briefly, any number of clever possibilities that rely on trying to wield powers I don't understand. And I dismiss them all because there's only one thing that's ever really served me, and it's already in my hands. So I take a swing at his neck.
So here's the fun thing about the nobody origin. Your divine trigger is when you overcome a dangerous obstacle with nothing but your mortal wits or skill, awaken your divinity. And your mortal trigger is when you put your own life or limb on the line for someone dangerous, clear all strain. I think you hit both of these right now. And I'm going to tell you why. Hilari is a god that is revered as kind and good and loving, but she is still a god. She could just as easily hurt you, hurt anyone, any mortal, as Syrian is right now. She could fight back. And we could see the true power of two gods going at it, but she is choosing not to for whatever reason. And you are trying to protect her. And in this moment, you are fighting a god. You understand that you have inherited godly power, but you're not drawing upon that. You're drawing upon your faithful, tried and true, which is your very mortal method of inflicting violence, which is your spear. So, in this moment, clear all strain as a power, a resolve, a fury boils over in you as you take this swing. And at the same time, awaken your divinity. So, I'm going to have you roll to inflict violence. When you inflict violence on someone, roll 2d6, add 1 for each true statement. They wish you harm. Absolutely. He's trying to kill you right now. You're desperate. Are you desperate?
That's an interesting question. There's a case to be made for yes and no. I'm gonna say yes in two different ways, sort of interpreting the word desperate. Because, one, there is a desperation to win. I'm not sure if I can. I don't want Hilari to die, and I think that they could, and mostly I don't want to die because my life has meaning and value again. But I'm also desperate to prove to myself that this is possible.
All right. Normally I would say mark 1 strain, but both triggers are going right now, so you will not. And the third point is it's personal. Is it now personal?
To my knowledge, Syrian didn't come here specifically to kill me, nor is he specifically the one trying to kill Tlali. So I don't think so. I think I'm still thinking of this almost like I'm putting down a wild, rabid animal with too much power that is threatening people I care about. This is a little too mundane in his mind. It shouldn't be. This should be scarier, and it is and isn't. It's both paradoxically at the same time. So no, unfortunately, it is not personal.
All right, once again, that is 2d6 plus 2.
It is only a 5.
Okay. On a miss, 6 or less, the opposition seizes a flaw in your approach. Suffer 2 strain, and the GM will describe the corner you're backed into. So you will suffer these 2 strain once again, but as you were coming from 0, you are only at 2. So, you're swinging for the neck, and he's simply just too fast. Within the blink of an eye, he moves himself out of the way, out of the out of the trajectory of your spear. And with the momentum of his movement, he grabs you by the neck. And he slams you down, neck first, into the ground. You hear Hilari let out a terrifying, "No!" But before anything else can happen, you look up at them. Both hands outstretched, one at you and one at Syrian. And there's a flash of pink. And when you blink, you are staring up at the underside of the canopy of the four-post bed of Seraphine's room. You feel burns in the shape of Syrian's hand on your neck. But you aren't there anymore.
No, bring me back. Hilari. Shit, Etuvar, I need you, now.
And in the split second that it takes for Etuvar to respond to you, you notice that the room is silent. And you shoot up into a sitting position. And you look where Seraphine was just sitting at the vanity. And they aren't there anymore. You don't know where they went. And as you look around, you see in the reflection of the mirror, you see your eyes, now a pale red, not glowing bright like Seraphine's, but still dazzling. Your skin a little paler than it was before. You stare at your face in the mirror, and a face overlays itself on top of yours, one that you recognize, the red markings, the long black hair. What is it?
Syrian is about to kill Hilari, and Seraphine is missing. I think Vosh is after her.
And you see Etuvar's eyes go wide. And he looks around the room, contemplating faster than light, and he says, Wait here. Trust me enough to wait here for just a moment.
Do what you have to. You've already earned my trust.
And the face fades in the mirror, and you're left staring at your own, your new undead form. As you trust in Etuvar, and you wait for him to return. And that is where we'll leave it for now. Godkiller Retribution is a Chance Encounters production. Your GM, producer, sound designer, and editor is myself, Asteria. The voice of Vos, our Godkiller, is Ian Frost. Godkiller First Blood Edition is by Connie Chung, available on itch.io for purchase. Music provided by Ian Frost and Monument Studios. See you next time, lovers. The testes.
00 hours, 00 minutes, 00 seconds. More like